There's no rush. See what I did there? Because the video is about there being no rush and I took my time to get into it. Okay, anyway, doesn't matter. The point is that there's no rush. We are constantly rushing towards things, people, situations, destinations. And yet ultimately what's so funny about that is that we're all going to die. Every single one of us is going to die. I'm going to die, you're going to die, and someone else is going to die. And we're all just going to be dead. And some of us will die in better ways than others, surrounded by loved ones. Some of us will get eaten by crocodiles. That's not a way that I would like to die, but either way, people are dying, right? And yet we are constantly in this sort of illusionary rush to get towards the destination that doesn't really exist. And it's a thing that I've been coming to realize lately. Just, I mean, intellectually, sure. I think a lot of people understand logically, oh, there's no rush, we don't need to go there. I mean, I can tell you dozens and dozens of examples of times where I've even gotten in an argument with like a partner, a girlfriend or something to get somewhere on time only for that place to just be closed. You know what I mean? Just whatever. And it's like, why did I try to get there? And I didn't enjoy any of it, right? Or when you spend all of your time trying to get somewhere, and once you do, like you're stressed, the whole experience, you're stressed, and you can only relax once it's over, right? That's also kind of a funny thing. And yet a lot of people, including myself, experience those types of feelings, that desire to be ahead of where we are. So while older people might tell us constantly, slow down, there's no rush, there's nowhere to be. Physically, yeah, of course, physically slow down, but mentally, emotionally, when you put yourself in this position where you feel like you have to accomplish things, but there's nothing to really accomplish, right? I mean, all the things that I want personally, the ambitions that I have, they come with consequences. And I'm so, adamant about getting to those places on time to get there very quickly that I don't seem to consider that the consequences are real and that the process is something to be enjoyed. Right? Because otherwise you're not really enjoying your life. If you put everything on a pedestal and away from you, you're never going to be happy. You can't enjoy anything. Success just becomes like a destination. And then when you get to the destination, would you feel successful? You probably wouldn't, because you're there. And once you get to that place, you're only going to start thinking of a new place to get to. That's how the mind works. Sometimes it's a good thing that we have that kind of ability, but in terms of emotional and spiritual peace, it's terrible. It's useless, really. It doesn't work. And it'll never work, because the more that we try to get to a place on time, the more late that we actually end up being, right? We're rushing around. I mean, even traffic, even real practical, real world examples like traffic. Traffic largely exists because too many people, obviously coming into once like a rush hour thing, but it exists more because people don't just, leave space. They don't just slow down a little bit. People just keep trying to rush into a certain thing, and they just end up actually going slower than if everybody had just gone a little bit slower, instead of going 80 miles per hour and then stopping and having to go 50 and trying to go 80 again and having to go 50. If everybody just went 60, it would just flow very smoothly. But people don't do that because people are idiots, right? I'm going to keep bouncing up and down on my chair like an idiot. So there's this concept of having to rush to a place, rush a relationship, get feelings for somebody that need to be expressed, a goal that needs to be accomplished, a place that you need to go to. Ultimately, you just end up feeling like anxious all the time. Your body doesn't feel right. Your mind's always rushing. You can't sleep at night. There's this constant almost fear that if we don't get these things, then we're going to be left behind, right? But it's an illusion, because there is no race. There's no race. And even if it were a race, it would be a marathon, and the only participant would be you. No one else is competing with us. No one else is here to take away our own, our running shoes. Nobody's competing. We're literally just racing ourselves. And that's the kind of the irony of it, the funny side of things, is that we're just racing ourselves. And so no matter what, you're going to lose, because someone's got to lose in a race. So whether you sacrifice one part of yourself to get to the end, it doesn't matter, because some part of you still loses, right? So there is no race. Nobody can take anything from you. There's no competition. People's lives are their own. People's thoughts, their opinions, their backgrounds, their family, their friends, their attitudes, their belief systems, the emotions that are up and down, the things that happen to them, the goals, the ambitions, the tastes, the dislikes. Everything is different. Everything is different. Even for people that are very similar in profession and what they want to accomplish, it's still different. It's not the same. It's not the same thing. And there's this idea that there's not enough to go around and that all these things will be taken away, but that's not true. You don't need to get to some type of position. And even with ambitions like mine I wish that this YouTube channel was more popular. I wish that my music was more popular. I wish that my writing was more popular. And it's not for because of lack of skill or lack of wisdom or lack of information or anything like that. There's different mitigating factors to it. I don't market myself because I don't have the energy, I don't have the time. And there's a little bit of luck. There's all kinds of stuff, you know what I mean? And this idea that I need to get to this top level position and I need to get there very quickly, it doesn't mean anything, because there are people in that position who can't do the things that I can do because they're so famous or they're so recognizable. And even things like a YouTube channel about spirituality, I mean, say if I did have a bunch of thousands and thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands of subscribers and followers who thought that this stupid, messy hair idiot has something real to say, even if I believe that, what am I going to do with all those comments? Am I going to be able to read all of them? There's going to be more negative attention, more negative feedback, and I'm going to get obsessed with that, right? So there'll just be new problems. It's like a lot of writers will say that they have a goal of getting published, and when they finally do get published, the new goal isn't getting published. It's, I want to be successful, right? So they want to get many, many copies, and then it becomes, I want a movie deal. Do you know what I mean? Then it's like, I want another book, and it just keeps on going, and there's always new goals, and it's just always something. There's always something that's going to hold you back, something that's going to bring you down, something to compare yourself to, something to make you feel bad about yourself. And there's already enough of that swirling around and inside every single one of us. This race, this rush to get to a certain destination when it all ends the same is foolhardy. And it's something that I'm really starting to realize, right? And taking more frequent breaks, not having to get up and then rush immediately to go do whatever it is that I think needs to be done. There's already so much of that shit that exists in life anyway. Why should we do that to ourselves in our personal time? And even things like a spiritual awakening. There's no rush to get to a place where you think there's some enlightened level of being, right? Even if that is a place that you can get to, it's not going to happen because you took a running start, jumped 50 feet, and then landed there. You know what I mean? You got to just go through your life. You have to go through it. And there's nothing wrong with having to go through your life. There's nothing wrong with taking a walk and strolling and taking your time and looking around and seeing things and learning and observing. There's nothing wrong with any of that. There's nothing wrong with taking a break. There's nothing wrong with sitting down. There's nothing wrong with not doing something. There's nothing wrong with, watching a movie and shirking your responsibilities. There's nothing wrong with anything. The only thing that's wrong in the sense of what it does to us, right, and how it doesn't help us, is the sense that we have to do all these things, that we have to be there, we have to rush, and it puts us in a state of constant anxiety, and people just can't relax. And it's why so many of us, by the time we put our head to our pillow at nighttime, we think to ourselves, Jesus Christ, I should have washed these pillow cases. It's been months. Or maybe that's just me. Or you might just think, all the thoughts that you never got time to think of that day, right? All the things that come up. Oh, God, what about that? What did I say to that person at one time? And oh, I should do this tomorrow, and oh, money troubles, and oh, I hope that person loves me. All the feelings and all the thoughts, they start rushing around, right? And your whole body's just filled with them because we don't take the time during the day, because we try to fill our days with as much as we possibly can. But it doesn't get us anywhere closer. It's never gotten me anywhere closer. And even the times that I have rushed towards things and gotten there on time, either literally or in terms of figurative sense, like a goal or an ambition or something, even if I felt like I'd received something, I was never happy. I was never filled with peace because of it. And if tomorrow suddenly this video blew up and got 40,000 views, it wouldn't make me happy. It wouldn't change the result of my life. It wouldn't change the issues that I have. It would be a nice surprise, but it wouldn't ultimately do anything for me. Do you understand? And when you have that information, when you have that wisdom, when you know that the only thing that you can really do to make you feel better is to focus on yourself, to sit with yourself, to sit with your emotions, to exist peacefully and honestly as a human being right now, right where you are, and that's the only thing that you know can really help you, all the other stuff, the external goals, the logistical things, the ambitions, the dreams, the material stuff, you kind of, it's not that it stops becoming important, it just becomes not as important, you know? And that's technically what I think a lot of us want is a feeling of peace. And peace is the absence of things. Peace is feeling all right with wherever you're at, whatever your life looks like, and you're just enjoying whatever's happening. You're not thinking of anything, right? That's peace. Peace is the absence of things.